Thank you so much for that warm introduction and the warm welcome. It's really wonderful to be here with you this morning. As I told you, my name is Ibiyinka. Can you all say Ibiyinka?
Ibiyinka?
Is there anyone in this school named Ibiyinka also? I guess we know. It's a different sounding name. It comes from West Africa, from Yoruba culture. In my culture, whenever a name is given to a child, it will have a meaning. So I was given the name because there were many, many family members around the house when I was born. What it means in my life now is that as I travel around the world, there's family in everyone that I meet, that we all have a lot more in common than we have different from each other. As every name has a meaning, so does every artwork that comes from that part of the world. This morning, I will show you some of the images, tell you some of the stories. Please feel free to ask me whatever questions you may have afterward. And I look forward to the workshop. I really enjoyed the workshop earlier this morning with the art class. What I'm wearing this morning is called Babariga. I know some of you might think I got it from Walmart, right? You can't find something like this at Walmart. You have to come all the way to Nigeria. It's very comfortable because it's very warm. It gets very warm in Nigeria, so you need loose-fitting clothing as compared to tight-fitting clothing that we have here. And it's just, I wanted you guys to see what it is like to dress in Nigeria. And maybe something you wear to church, or you wear for a festival, or any kind of social activity. I'd like to start by telling you a story, something that actually happened to me the first time I came to the United States, because it helps to understand the cultures, differences between cultures. And also for me, it's a good analogy when thinking about Emmanuel, Christ with us. When I came to the United States, I was really very anxious to learn the slangs that I used in this country. Because back home in Nigeria, when you use American slangs and you talk to your friends and family, they kind of think you are cool because you are talking like an American. But unfortunately for me, the first slang I picked up was actually a vulgar one. So it's not supposed to be used at all. And the only reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know being Christopher Dunn High School, you are all righteous people, and you probably don't use any vulgar word, right? So when I went to the state of Indiana, the city of Indianapolis, whenever I saw the people get mad at each other, either seriously or jokingly, I would hear them use this expression, I'll kick your ass. I know you are all laughing because you probably never heard it before. But when I heard it, it was for a completely different reason for which I thought you used it. You see, growing up in Nigeria, and especially going to the college I went to, the only word I'd ever interpreted for me to mean ass was a small donkey. So when I heard them use it, I thought I knew what they were talking about. And it made a lot of sense to me, since there were lots of farmers that came to this country in the 17th, 18th, and 19th century. So I just naturally thought that maybe that's the root of that expression. In those days, whenever one farmer got mad at another, maybe what they would do is to jump over the other farmer's fence and go kick the donkey. Hence that expression, I'll kick your ass, I'll kick your donkey. So anyway, without any reservation, I started using it and will know whether it was necessary or not. You know, it needs to be necessary before you actually use it, which means you need to be mad at something. In my own case, I will use it even as a greeting. I will see someone and say, hey man, good morning, I'll kick your ass. It sounds funny now, but I just want you to know that when I was finally told, it was probably the most embarrassing thing in my life up to that point. I even said it to the mayor of Indianapolis. I was hosting us because I wanted to demonstrate to him that I'm acclimatizing and learning a lot of American things. Also in Nigeria, if you call someone an ass, it's one of the biggest compliments you can give a person. Because an ass is the only animal that does its work honestly. I would never ask for anything in return. town. So they use it a lot to mean someone is very hardworking, or a public official, even sometimes politicians that are very honest, to mean this person is incorruptible.
You have some honest politicians.
You know what I mean? Like, that they like to work hard, like an ass. And kind of very committed to what they're doing. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that might be one of the reasons why, even in your country, I think one of your political parties has an ass as its symbol, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that the Republican Party?
No, it's the Democratic Party.
So that's to show labor, like service, commitment to other people. Isn't it strange? Because all that happened to me, if you think about it very well, was that I traveled across the Atlantic Ocean, and the meaning of that expression has changed completely. It's almost like 180 degrees. In the one instance, it's a compliment. In another, it's an insult. So as words and meanings can be so different, so can the meaning and interpretations of art. Sometimes, and I know that you all maybe become travelers, like me, or even better travelers in the future. When you go to different cultures, you get to see that it's not good to judge or to assume you know what people are talking about or doing, or sometimes that maybe it doesn't make sense that they observe some things. For example, there are some countries I've been to where if you use your left hand to shake hands with someone, everyone withdraws from you because they think you are insulting them. While it doesn't really make much difference to you or to me back home in Nigeria. There are places I've been to where I've had to refrain from eating certain kinds of food out of respect for such cultures. God put us all in different parts of the world so that we can appreciate each other, respect each other's culture. At the United Nations, I can tell you honestly, as someone that works with the United Nations, that 99% of the conflicts we have around the world is because somebody somewhere is not respecting the culture or the values of another person where they are. Jesus showed the best example of this, because look at what he did. Even though he is God, he came to act, to be like us, the man like God with us. He came to observe the things that we observe, to suffer the things that we suffer, to die. It was through some kind of death, so that he can bring us to him. He came, God, to be with us here, so we can be elevated to be like him. Sometimes we just have to observe people at the point where they are and respect them. Only then can we really be true ambassadors for Christ. So always important that we do this, to always respect cultures. And you'll see how I do it with my art as we go along with this presentation. So this first image, called Mortal Feelings, you see it's very colorful. This is because Nigeria is closer to the equator. So we describe art to be frozen music in West Africa. So anytime you have a visual interpretation of art, we always have the music. That's why there's a lot of music in my art. You see the drama, the dancer, and so many things going on. Sometimes it's just simple things like the horse's grace. That's the front of my house in Nigeria. It's an old retired horse that belongs to the chief, the area of my town. And one day I decided to paint a picture of it. A lot of times we describe art to have two sweeping characteristics. The first one is that it embodies a message within an idiom of communication. It tells a story from artist to the observer. So if someone has never seen something before, you can articulate to them what it looks like, or you can draw a picture or paint one. And the second characteristic is that all good art possesses a sense of mystery. Mystery, the quality in terms of people that want to keep making us spend time with them. And the more time we spend with them, the more we get to understand. So religion, what people believe in, always comes through in art because of this second characteristic. Because I'm raised a Christian, a lot of my pictures are inspired by the stories. Peter is one of the disciples of Christ. They went out fishing all day. They weren't successful, so Christ comes and says, put your nets on the good side of the river. When they did that, they made a humongous catch of fish. How many of us have ever gone fishing here before? Very good. Some of us might be a lot more familiar with fishing hook than the fishing net, right? So in Nigeria, we use the net a lot. That's why you see the fisherman with the net in this picture. Again, telling the story according to the culture. You know, when I was younger, I remember reading something in the book of Isaiah, which says, I will blot out your sins, and they will become as white as snow. West Africa, snow. You know, when you think, I guess you guys are used to snow, right? You probably see too much of it. Hey, if you think about it very well, for someone that comes from West Africa, it's very likely they've never seen snow before. The first time I saw snow was when I came to New York City. How do you describe to someone that's never seen snow about the whiteness of snow? That's why it's good to interpret according to what people understand. You can say white like a cloud, like fabric, but if you use snow, they just become confused. So as missionaries, these are some of the things to take note of. Sometimes it's just about being homesick. And I made this picture in New York City during that first week I experienced. Nigeria gets very warm, 120 degrees sometimes, 125 degrees, and especially in the north. And the coldest temperatures we have is in the 60s. Now when it's in the 60s, we all think that's crazy cold. Everyone is putting sweaters and jackets and saying we're going to die of cold today because it's in the 60s. Well, I discovered that you guys actually think it's nice when it's in the 60s, right? Oh, wow. And so in New York City, of course, that first winter, things got to 0 degrees, even below that. Can you imagine? 0 degrees. And people still live there. So what I did, of course, I was very homesick. I was always indoors, and I painted this picture about my home. What you see the women doing, they are pounding yam, they sing around the mud as they do that. You have the catch from the pot, the urgency of the sun actually the air on the ground. So just a quick exercise here. I just told you that the women make music and they sing around the mud as they do that. What kind of music can we hear? I will teach you the song that the night is singing. We will all sing it together, and then we are all going to dance to the music. I know you all know how to dance here, right? Listen, I don't want you to do break dancing or disco dancing. I want you to do African dance. All right, so listen to the song. It's very simple. Má ṣe kánjú jọ̀lúwa, má ṣe kánjú jọ̀lúwa, má ṣe kánjú jọ̀lúwa, má ṣe kánjú jọ̀lúwa. Ilé ló fẹ́ ní láyé rẹ̀, ọmọ ló fẹ́ bí láyé rẹ̀, ìwé ló fẹ́ kà láyé rẹ̀, Èdùmàrè á ṣe ti ẹ̀dá nílẹ̀ ayé yìí. You all know that song? You don't know it? Okay, so just the chorus part.